Now, let's start with deductive and inductive reasoning. Okay? So, very familiar, no? Lumabas to sa exam. Okay. So, deductive and inductive reasoning. So, you have probably heard the words inductive and deductive reasoning. Okay? So, many times before. Chances are, you have been mixed up with the two. Or you mix up the two. No? Or think that they mean the same thing. But they are not the same at all. In fact, they are actually opposites. Okay? So, discuss natin yan isa-isa mamaya. Bakit opposite sila? So, you can think of inductive and deductive reasoning as a path from something you know to something you don't know. Okay? Each makes use of general knowledge and the knowledge of specific scenario. Okay? So think of it like the difference between a large lake and an individual fish living in a lake. So the beginning point and the ending points are switched on each. So kumbaga, ang given is, kumbaga, yung isang reasoning dyan or isang way of thinking is it focuses on the general knowledge, while yung isa is focus sa isang evidence or knowledge that is connected to the general knowledge. Kumbaga, yung isa may evidence, then from that evidence, you can create a solution or a plan from that. While yung isa is gumagawa siya ng conclusion or devise a plan, or you can devise a plan based on the situation na given. Okay, so wala siyang specific na clue. Kumbaga kung ganyan. Okay. From general premise to the specific or narrowing down the conclusion. So the difference of this, makikita natin mamaya kung ano yung difference. Okay? Now, let's go with inductive. So inductive is the process of reaching a general conclusion by examining specific examples. So there is an example, no, na given before we conclude or give our inference or conclusion. So for our lake example in the previous slide, you found that you found a trout fish in a lake. May nakita ka daw isang klase ng fish na tinatawag na trout. You would assume that it is not the only fish in the lake, obviously, no? Kumbaga, hindi lang naman trout fish ang available sa every lake in the world. May maraming species ng fish. But also, you may conclude that all fish in the lake are trout. So either of the two. So you have induced from specific scenario information about the general population of the lake. So kumbaga, from this clue or information that is given to you, kasi may nakita kang trout fish, you can induce from the specific scenario information about the general population of the lake. So we're talking about the population of the lake, right? Kung may iba pa bang fish na nakatira doon or what, or living there. So from that, you have induced a specific scenario that tells you something about the lake. Kumbaga, yung lake may trout fish. The problem is there other species of fish? So an interesting point in induction is that it allows for the conclusion to be false, unlike deductive na sure na yun na yung tamang answer. Okay? So kumbaga yung inductive is either true or false siya. Kaya nga inductive eh. Kumbaga it's a trial and error na method. So it's either true or false ang conclusion mo. So it is simply a process of logical reasoning from a specific observation to a general theory of a population. So we're talking about here the population of the fish. So the conclusion that all fish in the lake are trout is very likely to be wrong. Obviously, no? May iba naman talagang species ng fish sa lake. However, the process of induction was pure and logical. Meaning the induction process here, where you point out na may trout fish sa lake, is pure and logical in a sense that you can call it a valid guess. But guesses are not meant to be true all the time. Kaya nga guess eh. So from that guess, you can infer or you can conclude, depende sa result, kung ano talaga yung totoong result or totoong answer sa problem at hand Or in this case, what is the population in the lake? Or what are the fishes available or living in the lake? Okay, so you take a valid guess. So that's induction or inductive reasoning. Just consider this example. No? So consider the following procedure. So you pick a number, any number, then multiply it by 8. Okay, then add 6 to the product and divide the sum by 2 and subtract 3. We can test it. So first, no, sa example na ito, okay, ang ginamit niya is 5. Okay, let's see. Let's follow the procedure. So that is, so 5 yung pinili niya. First daw is multiply by 8. Okay, so multiply by 8, that is 40. Then after that, you add 6. It becomes 46 divided by 2. So that is, so divide the sum by 2, that is 23. Then subtract 3. So that is 20. But when you divide the result with the original number that you pick, it becomes 4. Let's test if that's the case on any number. Now, let's try 6. So that is 6 multiply by the number 8, by 8, yung number na pinili. So that is 48. Then after that, you add 6 to the product. So that is 54. Then divide the sum ito by 2. So that is 27. Then you subtract 3 from it. So that is 24. Now, if we divide the result with the original number we picked, so we can observe that 4 ang answer pa rin. So, kumbaga, we started with 5 and followed the procedures and produced 20. We conjecture or we predicted that the following procedures produce, itong procedure na ito, a number that is 4 times the original number. So, any number. So, let's try. Halimbawa, 8. So, 8 times 8, multiply that is 64. So, plus 6. So, that is 70. Divide 2. That is 35. Minus 3. That is 32. So, if we divide 32 by 4, that is 8. Obviously. So, any number, basta ma-insert siya sa ganitong process, that is 32. So, this is an example of inductive. Kumbaga, may procedure, and then you perform it one by one if it's true. If there is a pattern, that is inductive reasoning. Okay? Okay. Again, let n be the number. No? Kasi yun yung nilet natin na number. Any number that we can put in this equation would result to 4 times the original number. Okay? So, ang common factor ni 8 and 6 is 2. Then, we divide 8 and 6. Then, lagay natin sa close and open parenthesis. That is, 8 divided 2, that is 4n plus 3. Okay, over 2 minus 3. Is it equal to 4n? Let's see. So, cancel to, obviously. So, that is 4n 4 plus 3 minus 3. Ito yan, equals to 4n. So, this cancels out. This is 0. So, that is 4n. So, question mark pa rin dito. So, that is 4n. Sorry. So, 4n siya dito, 4n dito. Therefore, this is true. So, this procedure is equal to 4n or 4 times the original number. So, you can use this equation or this equation. They have the same result. So, logic puzzles can be solved using deductive reasoning and a chart that enables us to display the given information in a visual manner. Okay? So, from that, yung mga logic puzzles like patterns, for example, number patterns or sequence, So you can use deductive reasoning para mahalaan natin kung ano yung missing number depending on the pattern. So a chart that enables us to display a given information is in a visual manner. So we can chart possible outcomes para malaman, ma-determine natin kung ano yung mga options natin. Okay, we can use that. And that is deductive reasoning. Rana, Tony, and Miley are sisters. Their ages are 9, 12, and 14. So, hindi natin alam kung sino ang 9, 12, and 14 dyan. So, hindi naman sinabing that's their age consecutively. So, you need to deduce which sister, or by the process of elimination, which one is 9, 12, and 14. So, you have two clues. So, yung age daw ni Tony is not in the 4 times table, and Miley's age can be divided exactly by the number of days in a week. So, let's start here. So, pag sinabing 4 times table, ano kaya yun? From the class, what is 4 times table? Yung age daw ni Tony is not in the 4 times table. Times 4 or divisible by 4. Hindi po pwedeng i-multiply sa 4. Okay. That is true. So, sabi dyan is not. So, hindi siya divisible by 4. So, sa 9, 12, and 14, ano ang hindi divisible by 4? 9 and 14. So, 9 and 14. Tama? Okay, for Tony yan ah. So, pwedeng ito ang age ni Tony. Pwede ning ito. Pero yung second condition ito. Miley's age can be divided exactly by the number of days in a week. Ilang days ba in a week? Ilang days in a week? 7. So ano sa sino dito sa 9 and 12 and 14 ang divisible by 7? 14. 14. Therefore, ang age ni Miley or ni Millie is what? 14. So therefore, yung possibility ni Tony na 9 or 14 nabawasan na. Therefore, hindi to kay Tony na age. Therefore, ang age ni Tony wala siyang ibang options kundi ito. So ang edad ni Tony surely would be 9. And ang kay Miley is ito. So ang natira na age is kay Rana, which is 12. So let's see. So ito mali. So that is deductive. So nag-eliminate ka based on the condition. Let's see if tama. So tama. No. So now we can see that Tony's age is 9, Rana is 12, and Millie is 14. Go with Polia's problem-solving strategies. Okay? So, ano ba yun? So there are 4 strategies in solving a problem nung sabi ni Polia. So first is understand the problem, then devise a plan, carry out the plan, and review the solution. Isa-isayin natin. Let's start with understanding the problem or understand the problem. So in understanding the problem, of course, you have to understand the problem. Can you restate or rephrase the problem? Okay? Kung ma-rephrase mo siya and same thought sila, it means that you understand the problem. Next, can you determine what is known or the given information about these types of problems? Next is there missing information or yung unknowns? So, kumbaga, it's like solving a equation or a problem na may certain equation. So you will let any variable for the missing value, while yung mga given you list it all para matulungan kang i-solve yung problem. Okay? Next is there extraneous information that is not needed to solve the problem? For example, may ibang information kasi na redundant or sobra na hindi mo na need na information to solve the problem. So that's the 4 points that you will consider. How would you understand, or how would you show that you understand the problem, or kumbaga that you have understand the problem if you do this, or you can do this all, meaning you understand the problem. Now, after understanding the problem, you devise a plan. Anong plano mo para ma-solve yung problem? So make a list of known information. Tapos na yan. Make a list of the information that is needed. Tapos na rin yan. Draw a diagram that shows the relationship of the variables in the problem. Make an organized list and show all the possibilities. That's one. Then make a table or chart. Work backwards. Of course, no, you have to check whether lahat ng possibilities is na list mo na or nasa table or chart na. Na-chart mo na. Try to solve a similar but simpler problem. So for example, yung problem is napaka-complex. Why? Some problems are very complex that you need to like create a similar problem that is smaller in scale, or yung parameters niya is hindi kakomplikado na yung hindi kasing komplikado ng isang problem. Kumbaga, you have to produce or make a simpler representation or parang prototype of that problem. So look for patterns, of course. Write an equation if necessary. Define what each variable represents. No, yung magle-let ka. Perform an experiment. Of course, you execute the problem or solve for the equation. Now we're done with the second step, which is devising a plan. Now carrying out the plan kung paano mo i-apply. So work carefully, and of course you have to keep an accurate and neat record of your attempts kasi may ibang attempts na palpak. So record mo pa rin. Kung gumagana ba, you have to test your devised plan if it's working. So realize of some initial plans will not work. So if pumalpak yung plano mo, so balik ka sa drawing board. Balik ka dito. Then, carry out na naman. Pag nag-success, doon ka nang mag-proceed sa last step, which is review the solution. So, ensure the solution is consistent with the facts of the problem. So, kumbaga, kung ano yung mga known facts and given, dapat mag-coincide siya, meaning, kahit i-insert siya multiple times or mag-insert ka ng parameters that is similar to the first parameters given, dapat same result pa rin. So, interpret the solution in the context of the problem, of course, no? So, kumbaga, ang solution should be interpreted or, kumbaga, yung, like, the essence, kung ano yung result, kung ano yung goal ng solution mo, dapat within the context of the problem, kumbaga kung ano lang yung problem, yun yung only solution. Kumbaga yung solution mo fit sa problem, sa context ng problem. So lastly, ask yourself whether there are generalizations of the solution that could apply to other problems. So kung may similar, sabi ko nga nila, may similar given parameters, dapat mag-work pa rin siya in general. Kumbaga, hindi lang siya restricted with that given requirements or restrictions. Kumbaga, pwede siyang i-apply sa other parameters that is similar similar to the original parameter. Okay. Now, let's proceed. So, a baseball team daw. A baseball team won 2 out of their last 4 games. So, 2 wins and 2 losses. Kasi 4 na games lang daw eh. And how many orders? Ilang orders daw? Kumbaga, could they have 2 wins and 2 losses in 4 games? Kumbaga, combination. So, basta may 2 wins sila at 2 lose. What are the other possibilities? No? Combo of this one. So, that's the problem. Ano yung different orders of win-win and lose-lose? 2 lose and 2 win. So, of course, you have to rephrase the problem kung naintindihan ba talaga. So, there are many different orders of the of the baseball team's ranking or position sa liga. So 2 out of 4 games daw. Okay, so the team may have won 2 straight games and 2 losses. So win-win, lose-lose, or maybe they will lose the first 2 games, lose-lose, win-win, so on and so forth. So there are possibilities. So yan ang task mo, to note all the possibilities. Basta may dalawang win sila at dalawang lose. Make an organized list of all possible orders, obviously. Then, these are the possible orders. So, pwedeng dalawang panalo, dalawang talo, or panalo, talo, panalo, talo, or panalo, talo, talo, panalo, or lose, win, win, lose, win, or lose, lose, win, win. So, I think that is, like, ito lang yung mga possibilities or the possible results involving this, na may dalawang win and dalawang loss. From that, there you can review the solution. There are no duplicates of the situation, unique siya. So hindi siya reoccurring. So there are 6 orders in which baseball team can exactly win 2 out of 4 games. Okay? So these are the possibilities. 6 of them. In a basketball league, this is example number 2. In a basketball league, consisting 10 teams of, so it consists of 10 teams daw sa isang liga. 10 teams. Play each other. So kung lahat ng team na yon, yung 10 teams na yon, mama-match up nila lahat ng teams, yung remaining 9. So for example, yung team ko, so lalaruin niya yung iba, makikipaglaro ako, or I will go against 9 other different teams. And from that, from that play, so for example, Lakers in Miami, sa isang season, 3 beses daw sila mag-meet up or maglalaban. Okay. So the problem is how many league games will be played? Kung ilang games daw based on the given parameters. Okay. So you have to understand the problem. So by paraphrasing or saying it out loud, para makita mo if tama yung pagkakaintindi mo ng problem. Now, sabi dito, there are 10 teams in the league, and each of the team plays exactly 3 times against each other of the other teams. The problem is to determine the number of league games that will be played. Now, let's devise a plan. So imagine na lang, So we can create a simpler problem with a smaller scale, para mas maintindihan natin. So in this, try the strategy of working a similar problem but a simple problem. So considered with 4 teams lang muna, 4. So hence 4 teams can play each other once in 4 times 3 over 2. So bakit 3 times 3 sa 4 na team? Ito yan. Explain ko Okay. Let's go here. So 4 teams daw, okay? So dapat makalaban ng bawat team ang isa't isa. Okay? So yung A dapat makalaban niya si B, C, D. Si B makalaban niya si A, si at saka si D. Excuse me. So let's start, Bakit ganito? Bakit 3? So let's start here. So yung A dapat kalabanin niya lahat muna. So A versus B. So this is the first game. Then A versus C. Then A versus D. So kaya 3. Kasi yung isang team can play 3 times. So hindi to yan Ang ibig sabihin nito, the possibility of team A, kung ilang games ang lalaroin ni team A kung kakalabanin niya lahat. Ito. Now, on the second bracket, we're done na si A na kalabanin ng lahat. Now, let's go with B. So si B, So, there's no need for B to match up with A again kasi tapos na eh. Tapos na sa first bracket. So, proceed tayo sa, so, makikipaglaban siya kay C and D. Okay? So, B partners with C or opponent niya si C. Then, si B dito, also, ang next game niya is si, ang makakalaban niya is si D. So, B, C, D, B, C, and B, D. So, si B, makakalaban niya si B and C. Tapos, si B na naman, kalaban niya si D. Okay? As you can see, unique yan. Walang bumalik. Kumbaga, nakalaban talaga. So, ilan na nakalaban ni C? Si A at saka si B. Now, let's go with C. So, na-match up na ni C si A. Na-match up na din ni C si B. So, ang hindi lang niya na-match up ni C is si D. No one else. Or wala nang ibang nakalaban. So, kumpleto na. Okay? Okay? So, isa-isayin natin. So, ang nakalaban ni A, nakalaban niya lahat. So, okay si A. Si B naman. Nakalaban ba niya lahat? So, si B, nakalaban niya si A. Nakalaban niya si C. Tapos, nakalaban din niya si D. So, okay na si B. Si C naman. Nakalaban ba niya lahat? So, nakalaban niya si A. Nakalaban niya si B. Nakalaban din niya si D. Okay na. So, okay to. Okay. How about D? Nakalaban niya si A. Nakalaban niya si B. Nakalaban niya si C. Therefore, ito lang yung possible games. That's why 4 times 3. Kasi yung first game, no? Kasi yung first team na kakalabanin ng lahat, 3 lang talaga ang maproproduce niyan na game. That's the max. So, kumbaga, kung ilan ang teams, okay? 4 times 3. So, minus 1 ka lang sa actual number of teams, then multiply mo siya sa total number of teams. Okay? Divided by 2. Bakit divided by 2? Kasi, 2 teams lang maglalaban. So, that is a total of 6 games. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get my point? So, there are 6 games. Okay? Now, sabi dito, 10 teams play each of the other teams exactly 3 times. So, each of the team daw. So, this instance would happen 3 times. So, 3 games sa isang season. Magtatakbo sila. So, if we multiply this by 3, ang total games talaga na papanoorin mo is 18 games. Tapos, 3 beses magmamatch up yung 2 team. Okay? You understand? So, from that, we can solve for 10 teams. Paano ba yan? Okay. So, using the process developed above, ito, we see that 10 teams can play each other once in a total of 10 times 9 over 2, no? Is equals to 45 games. Bakit times 9? Kasi, yung first team, like A, cannot go against with himself. So, kakalabanin niya talaga yung 9 teams, yung remaining 9 teams. Kaya, times 9. Kumbaga, if you're solving like that, or solving like this, like teams, and they have to play each other, and there are certain, ilang times sila maghaharap sa isang season. This is the process. So, kung ano yung or total number of teams, you subtract 1. Kasi, yung sarili mong team would not be included in the counting. So, you have to multiply it minus 1 sa number of original teams divided by kung ilan ang maglalaro, kung ilan ang magkalaban. So, that is 45 games. Since each team plays each opponent exactly 3 times, yun yung nasa problem. So, the total number of games na makikita mo in one season is 135 games. Now, let's make an organized list. So from this, no, there are 10 teams now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, A matches with all the teams. So A versus B, A, C, hanggang J. Okay? So there are 9 kasi di naman pwedeng kalabanin ni A yung sarili niya. That's absurd, no? So from this, same process yung kanina, yung sa 4 teams. So nilist lang niya lahat. So si B, pinartner with so on and so forth. Okay? Hanggang sa maubos lahat ng partner. Partner, or yung opponents with like match-ups, match-ups with each other. So if you add all the games in each of the bracket, that results to 45. And this match-up, tong isa-isang ito, would happen 3 times. So times 3 nito, that is 135. Okay? Okay, naintindihan? Any other, is there a question about this example? My question, Mark? Okay. How about the others? No questions. Okay. Now let's go with example number 3. So determine the 100 places to the right of the decimal point in the decimal representation of 7 divided by 27, or 7 over 27. Now, so let's understand the problem. So express the fraction in terms of decimal, and let's like determine the 100 places to the right of the decimal point. Okay, first, ito, translate niya in his own words. Kumbaga, kung naintindihan ba niya yung problem. Now, let's go to devise a plan. Let's go with devising the plan. Now, make a table and look for a pattern. So, dividing 27 into 7 by long division or using a calculator, the decimal is 259, 0.259, 259, 259, so on and so forth. So, there's a pattern, right? Yung 259 umuulit-ulit. Ito, ulit-ulit siya. The problem is, ano yung ika-100 place? That's the problem. Determine the digit in the 100, dapat yan, 100's place to the right of the decimal point. Okay, so you know the pattern. So this is the first decimal place, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, so on and so forth. So yung problem mo yung ika-100. So ano kaya ang gawin para malaman mo yung ika-100 with this pattern? So 'di ba yung decimal places natin is yung first decimal place up to 100. Right? Kasi ito yung hahanapin mo. So kung titingnan mong mabuti yung pattern, it's by 3. Tatlo. Therefore, maghahanap ka from 1 to 100 kung ano yung pinakamalaking number na pwedeng ma-divide sa 3. Ano yung pinakamalaking number na ma-divide sa 3? 99, right? Bakit ko dinivide sa 3? Kasi as you can see here, the pattern is in 3s, yung 259, right? So we can predict the 99th place from this. So kung ma-divide or the largest possible number from 1 to 100, kumbaga ito yung decimal places, ha? Ito yung decimal places, guys. Okay, this is the first, second, so on. So we have to get the 100 place. So with this pattern, we divide it by 3, no? Yung 1 to 100 na decimal places. And we found out na ang pinakamalaking number is yung ika-99th place. Okay, from that, we can determine kung ano yung digit sa ika-99th place. Why? As you can see here, may pattern. So first, second, so third place, third decimal place, 4, 5, 6. This is 9th. So as you can see, yung divisible by 3 is, ang digit niya is 9. Therefore, yung ika-99 is, ano yung digit niya? Ano kaya? 9. So from this pattern, di ba, pagkatapos ng 9, balik sa 2. So ano yung ika-100? 2. Obviously. You know. Yan. That's it. Okay, so from this, you can create a table and show the 100 places of this fraction. Okay? Intindihan? Kaya naman, no? Madali lang naman siya. Okay. Now, let's go with another example. Now, the next example shows us, or the problem is, the product of the ages in years of 3 teenagers is 4,590 or 4,590. None of these teens are the same age. So, hindi magkakaiba yung age nila. What are the ages of the teenagers? So, first, let's identify kung ano yung mga ages na considered teenager. Okay, so may tatlo dong teenager. Pag i-multiply mo daw yung ages nila, magre-result to 4,590. Now, ano ba yung teenager? Okay? So yung 13, kaya nga teenager eh. So may teen sa hulihan. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay? Walang 20. So ang last digit would be 19. So from that, no, mamimili ka ng random numbers there from 13 to 19 na you can multiply and results to 4,590. So this is a trial and error, guys. So guess and check represent the ages with X, Y, and Z. Okay? So multiply X, Y, and Z 4,590 and try to solve and guessing and checking. Okay? Now, in this example, nag-start siya with 15 times 16 times 17 times 18, that is 4,320. So the product is too small. Now, let's change the last digit. So 15 times 16 times 19 is 4,560. So too small. Then proceed. 15, 17 times 17 times 18. So 15 times 17 times 18, that is 4,590. So this is the correct answer. Okay. So kasi skinip niya yung 13 and 14 kasi pag minultiply mo siya with either of these numbers, hindi aabot. So dito siya nag-start sa medyo malaki or in the middle. Okay, then work your way up. Okay? So let's see, no? So that is 15 times 17 times 18 is 4,590. Okay. Now, let's review the solution. So because 15, 17, and 18 no, results with 4,590 if multiplied with each other. So each of the ages represent the age of the teenager. Therefore, the solution is correct. Okay? Intindihan? Okay. I think it's clear. Now, let's go with the next one. Ito madali. A hat and a jacket cost $100. The jacket costs 90 more than the hat. What are the costs of the hat and the cost of the jacket? So we can actually solve this using algebra, and also you can you can solve this using Polya's problem solving strategies. So understand the problem, no? So after reading the problem for the first time, you may think that the jacket costs 90 and the hat is 10, no? So the sum of these costs is 100, but the cost of the jacket is only 80 more than the cost of the hat. So we need to find $2 amounts that differ by 90 and whose sum is 100. So from that, we can create a equation. So from that, let's let natin yung let H be the cost of the hat na lang. Then J be the cost of the jacket. So from that, we can solve the problem. Okay. Now, sabi dito, the hat and the jacket cost 100 pesos. So that is H plus J is equals to 100. Okay. Then that is the first equation, right? Okay. Now, the jacket costs $90 more than the hat. So, so yung jacket daw would cost $90 more. So it means you have to add $90 to get the price of the jacket. So you have to add $90 more to the hat para makuha mo yung amount ng jacket. So that is H plus 90. That is equation 2. So from this, we can solve that. No? So as you can see, yung J daw is equals to H plus 90. Right? So pwede mo namang gamitin yung substitution method. So substitute J dito sa first equation. So solution. Ito. So that is H plus J, rewrite lang natin, plus 100, then substitute dito. Substitute J with this one, H plus 90. Bakit? Para in terms of H lahat, makuha natin si H, then eventually makuha natin si J. So that is H plus, substitute yung J with this one, equation 2, that is H plus 90 is equals to 100. So that is H plus H, that is 2H plus 90 is equals to 100. And from that is 2H is equals to 100. Transpose natin sa kabila, that is 90. So 100 minus 90, that is 10. So to get H, divide both sides by 2. Therefore, H is what? 5. So ito yung cost ng hat. Yan yung cost, $5. Now, because substitute that to the to equation 2 or equation 1. Kung saan yung mas madali. So let's go with equation 2. Okay? So to get H, so that is J. To get J, substitute H. So that is 5 plus 90 from this equation. So that is J is equals to $95. So therefore, yung presyo ng jacket is 95, yung hat is 5. So one of the numbers, no, one of the numbers is 7 more than the other. Twice the larger is equal 4 times the smaller decreased by 2. Find the numbers. So hatiin natin sa dalawang sentence muna. So ito muna, one of the numbers, no. So one of the numbers, no. So we are looking for two numbers wherein one is 7 more than the other and twice the larger is equal 4 times the smaller increased by 2. Now, let's have another solution. Let's see. Naintindihan naman siguro natin yung problem, right? Napaka-easy. Now, one of the numbers daw is more than the other. Therefore, may larger and smaller number. So let X be the smaller number and Y be the larger number. Now, the first condition is one number is more than 7 more than the other, than another. Okay. So, obviously, yung larger number yun. Kasi magiging mas larger siya kasi 7 more than the other siya eh. Okay? Therefore, Y is equals to X plus 7. So, yung X yung smaller number. So, yung isang number daw, yung larger number is 7 more than the other. So, this is equation 1. Now, let's go here. Twice the larger daw. So, twice the larger, 2y is equal to 4 times the smaller decreased by 2. That is equation 2. So, from this, no, yung y may expression siya na that is equals to x plus 7. So, we can substitute it here, obviously, to solve the problem. So, to solve that, lagay na lang natin dito para straight. So, that is 2 times x plus 7. Kasi napalitan na yung y ng equation 1. Is equals to 4x minus 2. So, that is, we distribute this one. So, that is 2x plus 14 is equals to 4x minus 2. Okay, combine similar terms. So, transpose ko yung 4x dito, yung 14 punta dito. So, that is what? 2x minus 4x. Then yung 14 magiging negative, that is negative 2. Negative 2 pa rin siya, minus 14. So that is what? Negative 2x dito. And this one is negative 16. So divide both sides by negative 2 to get x. So that is positive 8. So yan yung first digit. Now, let's solve for y. So substitute natin siya dito sa y is equals to x plus 7 kasi mas madali. Kasi ito na yung, kung gusto mong pahirapan yung buhay mo, ito, dito may substitute. And it will end up with the same answer. But let's find another way na mas madali. So yung y natin, substitute mo yung 8 dito sa x. So that is 8 plus 7. Therefore, y is 15. So yung dalawang number is 8 and 15. So if you substitute it sa second equation and the first equation, that is correct. Okay? So that ends our week 6.